Okay, I'm just going to tell you very quickly, well thanks for coming first of all. My name is Jim and my colleague Chris here, this is our project basically. I work for the university, I work for something called the Centre for Enhancement of Learning and Teaching, the e-learning side, and Chris is basically sort of web developer, multimedia specialist, so he helps with all the web design and things like this, okay? So we've also got some digital ambassadors, this other sort of group in the back, lurking over there. They're all digital ambassadors, so they're helping with the project, put the word out, doing these sessions, and you'll be hearing more from them later on. All right, so what do we do? Also, we've got online resources, which you saw in the video. That's our website, it's called Clued Up. We'll make sure you have the links at the end of the session. We're doing workshops. This is the first of 3 initially. So this is looking at the digital tools you can use to help you study and learn more effectively, so manage your studies. We've got the second session, which is about digital identity and your digital profile, so how to be more professional. So when you come towards graduation, you have a really nice professional profile and people don't find things that maybe you don't want them to see online. Okay? And then the third session will be about sort of learning networks, what we call PLNs, so personal learning networks. So it's things like how to use social media to really become part of an academic community in your subject area, in your discipline, and that kind of thing, okay? So how to build up your own learning network as you go through your studies. Okay, so those are the 3 sessions. We've already met the digital ambassadors there. So what we're trying to do is to help you to manage information and knowledge better online. I'm not sure if you've heard of some of those apps and some of those services, but we'll be looking in more detail at them quite soon. We're going to show you a really great referencing app and tool which can save you a lot of time and help you with your written work. We're going to look at how you can organize all your notes and ideas without having hundreds of different Word documents everywhere on memory sticks and here, there and everywhere and emailing to yourself. So much better ways to organize your own notes. And also collaboration on group work. So you know, probably most of you have group projects that you need to do at some point. They can be a nightmare, we know that. They can be very difficult, personalities get in the way and so on. But actually if you use some of the technical tools that are available to you for free, it can make it a lot easier. Okay, so we'll have a look at those as well. Okay, so why we're doing this project. Has anyone heard the term digital native? No? It doesn't matter because it's not really true, it's not important. Young people today, they say that young people are all digital natives because they grow up surrounded by technology. That's true, they grow up surrounded by technology. Hi, come in. But do they know how to use it? For social media, for Instagram, for Snapchat, for Facebook, yes. For study, not really, okay? So we're here to try to help you use those digital tools and technologies for your studies, so in more kind of formal and academic kind of contexts, okay? There's been a lot of research, it's not just me saying this, there's been a lot of research into this. And here's a sort of typical quote from some of the research was, although ownership and personal use of digital technology is high among university and college students, you look around, you see people on tablets, on phones, laptops, whatever, right? Including in lectures. Few know how best to use digital devices and networks in support of their studies. And this is something that we found over and over again and has surprised us. People don't really know often how to use these things to help them study. So again, that's why we're here. Okay, I'm going to hand over to one of our digital ambassadors who's going to talk a little bit about the idea of digital literacy. Have you heard the term digital literacy? Anybody? One? Yes? Okay. Helen? It's all yours.
Okay, so...
Can you dim the light a little bit because I can't see the light properly?
We will put the slides up on the website at some stage, because once you've got the website, we'll advise you to keep going back, so we will put stuff up. And these slides will go up online, probably within the next week or so. So we'll ask to... Okay. Because you can't read that particularly well anyway, so it's probably better to go to the website afterwards.
I can.
You can.
Okay, well, Anyway, my name's Helen. The internet is a great thing, and in our lifetimes we've managed to see our whole world completely transformed by the use of the internet, the growth of the internet and what it is. But one of the problems with the internet is that it doesn't have any rules. There's not a written guideline. There's everything and anything, criminal networks to even government databases on the internet, and anyone can access those kind of things. But learning kind of how to use these things and why they're important is really important in order to be able to protect yourself and also protect what we're doing here, academia. And there are 7 different elements of digital literacy, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. Media literacy is something that is obviously quite new, and it hasn't always been around. Things like blogs and vlogs are things that didn't necessarily exist before, and it's not something that has ever been able to be replicated because they didn't exist. Things like YouTube, the ability to just do whatever it is on the internet and show people and show the whole world, is something that it wasn't something that you could ever do before. Communication and collaboration. So participating in digital networks for learning and research. You may be using Facebook or Twitter or more academic platforms, and one of them will be spoken about a little bit more later, called Mendeley. They can be informal or formal, and being able to kind of work within it properly, and knowing things like Twitter, for example, can be used as an academic resource because there are academic communities within Twitter and the kind of digital stratosphere that actually can help you learn more. So if you're following the right people on Twitter or Facebook, you can actually gain something from it, and it's not always about social media and wanting to communicate with your friends. Career identity and management, which is obviously something that I said before is something that's really important to me. We've all seen the leaked Snapchats, the leaked government documents, WikiLeaks, all those kind of things go onto the internet, and there's nothing that you can do to be able to get those things back. Once they're there and they're on the internet, you cannot get those things back. And so being able to manage your online profile and things like that can be one of those things that can either stop you from getting a job or can be kind of swept under the carpet. And if you know how to protect yourself on Facebook, or even just the things that you write on the internet, at least then you know that when you go for a job, and I can guarantee that they will all search your name on the internet to be able to try and find you and find out more about you. Because what they see in front of them the first time that they meet you at an interview is not the whole picture of who you are. So by them searching and them knowing how everyone knows how to use Facebook, or they know that they can access it, anyone can find out those things about you. So IT literacy. Obviously, Jim mentioned before about digital natives. So the younger generations that maybe can pick up a tablet or any kind of digital device and be able to just magically, do whatever it is that they do on a tablet, and you don't even know how they managed to get to that point. Things like Apple, they don't necessarily send out a whole instruction manual like Windows, PCs used to do, and it is all about discovering it for yourself. And so being able to have the skills and the knowledge in order to be able to know what you're doing and how to get to the things that you need to get to can obviously enhance your learning experience and even just your ability to work within this new digital world. And being able to do those kind of things are really important. So, learning skills. Enhancing your learning through technology. Being able to study and learn effectively in technology-rich environments, formal and informal. And also, again, it is knowing which environments those are. Like I said, Twitter can be used in one of those ways in order to be an academic resource. Obviously, you probably don't want to put at the bottom of it so-and-so said on Twitter in your referencing, because that's not really going to work. But whether it's learning to use certain technologies for the way that you learn, so whether you're, at school they always said kinesthetic and visual and audio and all that kind of stuff, learning how to use these different apps and tools to be able to enhance that learning is really important. So whether it's mind maps that you're into, you can do that digitally, or whether it's lists, you can do that digitally, sorry, I can't say it, all that kind of stuff. So it's important to be able to know how to use those things, and whether it's dyslexia or just your learning style, you can use all these things to enhance your learning and make it more kind of profitable for you. Okay, digital scholarship. Participate in emerging academic, professional and research practices that depend on digital systems. It's also about like knowing how to reference and acknowledge the people in your field when you're writing an essay and things like that. It's not necessarily something that we all know how to do, and the whole point of coming to university is learning how to do those things, and also acknowledge the people that have taught you those things as well. So by doing that, you can carry on creating, like, you know, making the kind of industry grow, and at least we all know about these kind of things and we can make the most of it. And then lastly, information literacy. Find, interpret, evaluate, manage and share information. This is probably the most important thing, and probably one of the most obvious about coming to university, is if you know how to be able to, like, if you can tell a good like resource from another, and especially with things like Google, you can find anything on Google. Like, anyone can write anything, but it doesn't necessarily make it true or the right thing to put into an essay. But if you can learn how to see what is a good resource and what isn't, then you'll obviously do so much better in uni. So those are the different elements of digital literacy.
Okay, thanks Helen, that's great. One other thing to add about information literacy, it's not just about study. A lot of these skills apply to everyday life. So if you're looking to buy something online, actually good search skills are very useful. So it's not actually only for academic things. These relate to everyday life, a lot of these skills as well. You'll find that 90% or so, or most employers nowadays, will really treasure these digital literacies. They're very important, and lots of companies will say graduates are coming out without these kind of digital literacies that they need and that we need them to have. That's a very common complaint that you get from employers. I've just put this here, you probably can't see it either, I'm afraid, it's very small. But it's a report about future work skills, talking about the kind of skills that will be needed for 2020, and in fact really are already needed. And we have things like new media ecology, so new communication tools require new media literacies, and we've talked about media literacies already. Cognitive load management, it sounds very grand, sounds very complex, but actually that means just being able to manage knowledge and information, which again is something that you should be doing and should be learning during your academic career. Okay? Globally connected world, a lot of this is obvious, but you need to know how to connect between different people and different interests and different communities. Okay, so basically that's what we're trying to do and why. Okay. So the question is, how do we manage it all? No one's got time to do all this stuff. There are new apps coming out every day. There are different services. It's very hard because you can feel like you're overwhelmed with all these different things. Okay. So we'll try to show you just a few, which we'd advise you to get to know well. Okay, rather than saying just go out and use all of them. So best just to concentrate on a small few, but get to know exactly what they can do for you. Okay, so I think probably, I'm guessing you know what these are. If you don't, where have you been? Yeah, so this one, obviously, don't even need to say it. That one? Yes? Instagram. Snapchat, yeah, last time no one knew this one. Snapchat. Vine, yeah. What's Vine?
It's like really short videos, 6 seconds videos.
Yeah, like short looping videos, like 6-second videos, yeah. So what are they mostly used for?
Social media, social networking.
Yeah, exactly, socializing, some kind of social communication. All right, so those are very common apps. What about these ones? Don't say any of them. So just have a look and see what you think. Maybe you recognize some, maybe you don't. These are not your social media icons. So, what we're going to do, just to get you started, I'll give you a piece of paper. Let's have you in just 4, why not, okay? So 4 groups, or 2s or 3s. And on here you'll find 8 descriptions, okay? Each description doesn't have a name, but it matches one of these icons, okay? So can you, in your team, nice and quietly together, just try to match a description to an icon, and if you know the name, that's great. Okay, so I'll give you one each, and we'll give you about 5 minutes to have a look, see how many you can work out or how many you know together. Okay, and I think the winner gets a prize, right?
The winning group gets a prize, yeah.
Yeah, some kind of
Free app.
edible prize. All right, so about 5 minutes.
We should have some digital music going now, some sort of like university challenge music.
Can you all see them all right?
So if you don't know the name, I suppose you could do 1, 2, 3. So there's one missing, I've got it under the camera. Do you know any of the names? I'm smiling.
I think it is.
There's another one you should do. Do you know what it's called? Do you use it?
Good try. I think it's good to try. I'm not sure it's not good.
Have you got one? You could do that little
Got any?
or if you could describe it.
That's the idea. If you don't know, go for it. It's nothing impressive. I fancy your answers, but it's nothing impressive.
We're trying.
I think we just deciphered it from your lecture.
From the video, yeah.
Why not? Why not?
We're just testing to see if you're paying attention.
Exactly. Are we awake?
I know
I don't think I've heard her before.
Are they new to you, though?
I think the logos are waking up, but some of the descriptions probably.
Yeah. So you know the sort of functionality. Yeah. I think that's the difference is once you start using them. Like seeing an icon is one thing, but actually when you get to know it and use it a lot, then it becomes something else, you know. How many have you got?
we've got 1, 2, 3, 4,
6. That's good. So yeah, you must remember a lot. Oh, you do? Okay. You get it. Good. Yeah? Finished? All done? No problem. The front row, they're remembering from the video. So they're paying attention. They remember.
I know the names from, I know which one to.
No, okay.
Because I know that there's special one in column is elementary, so I know it's the, so I just
Let's have improvement.
Yeah,
Not letting you see.
It's not mine.
That's the digital
It's not
stuff.
mine. It's not mine.
What was it under, Jim? What was it called? Yeah?
It's neon,
Yeah.
Eventbrite neon. It's at the end. Yeah.
That's what it is, neon.
Neon prime.
Yeah, it's like being at an airport, huh?
Okay. Don't worry if you haven't got them. Let's see how many you've got. Remember, there's a prize for the people who've got the most right, so we have to just rely on your honesty, basically, or how hungry you are. All right, so let's just take a look and see by icon if you can identify which number it is. If you know the name, that's great. So this blue box here, right? There's a clue in the box part. Does anyone know the name of this one?
Dropbox.
Dropbox. Okay, good. So that's called Dropbox. Which of these descriptions is Dropbox?
Number one.
All agreed? Number one? Yeah. Okay, good. So that's Dropbox as number one. It's used. Like a file store, isn't it? Online, in the cloud, as we say. So very useful. It means you don't have to have those pesky little memory sticks or email things to yourself all the time. It's a nightmare. So Dropbox is very useful. It's also good for sharing if you have to share documents. Yeah. Okay. What about this one? Maybe less familiar. Any idea?
That's with me or something like that.
Yeah, it's called RefMe. Yeah, ref being the reference. So RefMe, that's the name of it. Which number is it?
3.
Number 3, exactly. Automatic reference generator. Yeah, good. I think. Yeah, so I just forgot to write it down. Okay, so that's RefMe, good. What's this one? There's sort of two people holding hands, or is it someone smiling? I don't know. No. Mm-mm.
Good shout, though.
A good shout, but wrong. Any ideas? Any ideas which one it is? It's hard to tell from the image, isn't it? All right, this is called Digo, spelled D-I-I-G-O. Digo. What's it for? No. Any guesses? No one hungry? Digo is number 5. So it's for social bookmarking. So basically, instead of having your annoying favorites everywhere, yeah, on your computer, you save them in the cloud so you can access them whatever device you're on. So it's very good for saving websites. It's very useful, yeah. So it's called social bookmarking, if you want the technical name. The social part is because you can share bookmarks with communities or groups if you want to. You don't have to. Okay, very useful, as Valeska will tell you later. All right, so we've got Digo. We've got this elephant here. Evernote. Yeah, I don't know why it's an elephant, but it is. Evernote. What's that? Which number is it?
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2. Evernote. This is great. I love this tool. It's fantastic, really. Download it and change your life. It's brilliant, honestly. So that's Evernote. Oh, this one. What's that funny red M kind of weird thing? Or is it a mask? Or a clown? I don't know. What is it? Any ideas? Someone said it already. Prezi? No. Mm-mm. Prezi is what this presentation is done with, but no, it's not Prezi.
Number 7.
Yes, it's number 7. Any idea of the name? There's a clue in the M. Mendeley. It's called Mendeley. Mendeley. Yeah, and Marina will be explaining it later. Mendeley. It's a tool for saving journal articles, annotating them, having them, you know, as a nice place to store and organize them all together, and also accessing other people's if you want, if they allow you to. What's this? You all know what that is, right? No problem. What's this? It's for sharing something.
number 6.
It is number 6, yeah. So it's for sharing PowerPoint slides, yeah. A lot of people, not just academics, but business people, all that kind of thing, they all share presentations with the world because they want more people to see them, right? So this may not be the case with you, but it may be. Okay, so SlideShare is used for sharing your slides. You can upload a PowerPoint presentation, and then you can make it public. Yeah, I did that in my second year of a master's I was doing part-time here. I uploaded a presentation to SlideShare. It took me sort of 3 or 4 weeks to get feedback from my tutor, but within a week I had 16,000 views on SlideShare of my presentation, and lots of nice comments from people all over the world. Couldn't believe it. That was good feedback for me. Yeah, and then my poor, my tutor couldn't do any better than that, really. So I chose to share it. You don't have to, but you can do. So when you become, if you get into your academic career and you want to get your research out there instead of just behind the walls of some academic institution, you can use things like SlideShare. You can use things like Twitter, Mendeley, all these things. Yeah. So it's becoming part of a community. So that's SlideShare, which was number, what number was it? 6, yeah. And this one? Blogger, yeah. So a very common tool for blogging, obviously. Yeah. Owned by, do you know who owns it? Google, yeah. So that's, what number is it? Number 4, yeah. And the final one, keeping the same theme, what's this?
Drive.
Google Drive, yeah, okay. Who has Google Drive? 2? Everyone here has Google Drive, because as a student at London Met, you have a Google account, right? Which you know, hopefully. You have a Google email, Gmail account, that has Google Drive. Okay? Google Drive is very useful. Yeah? It's also owned by Google, so you can think about whether you want to share all your stuff with them or not. Okay, so who got more than one? Everybody? 3? That's good. Well, kind of. What about you guys? How many? 1? Okay, never mind. That's why you're here. How many? 3. 5. Look at that. Okay, round of applause. Chris.
Oh yeah, that's sorry.
Go for it. There we go. Roses or collections? It's up to you. I told you. I'll allow you to decide. Well done. Congratulations. But maybe some more later, possibly. All right, so we're going to actually now start looking at how to use some of these things. All right, so getting on to the main thing. We've sort of been thinking about these questions already, and hopefully you'll have some answers by the end. So what are the best digital tools for managing information sources? Yeah? Can you remember any of them from that list? Managing information sources. What would you use?
Mendeley.
Mendeley you could use.
RefMe as well.
RefMe. Evernote. Digo. Yeah, remember your online sources. You can share things. All right. What are the best way to organize your notes and ideas? Again, that would be probably Evernote, maybe Google Drive, possibly. How can you share ideas and collaborate on group projects? So what are the sharing tools that we looked at? Google Drive again.
Dropbox.
Yeah, Dropbox as well, sharing files with other people. How can you use your devices? So by devices, we're talking about mobile phone, tablet, laptop, whatever you've got really. How can you use them more productively as a student? Okay, you know we all spend all our time looking at your mobile. I'm sure you're not always studying, right? Okay, but there are things you can do with your mobile that are very useful. So we'll have a look at the first one. This is a tool called RefMe. Remember we looked at this icon? Okay, and this is for referencing. We're making some short videos as a group of digital ambassadors. We're making short videos to try to help you to use these things a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to play you one example, which is RefMe. Okay, and then I'll show you the website which goes with it, because that's also very useful. Okay. Okay, so you found the book that you need to use for your essay. You think there's some good material there and you want to use it as a reference and you want to include a citation in your essay. So how do you do it? I've got the book. Now, if you've got one of these, then there's a great little app you can use called Reference Me. And that's available to download whether you've got an iPhone or you've got an Android device. You can download it onto there. Just search for Reference Me in the App Store. And you can see it looks like this. I'm just going to open it up. And it says create new essay. So the first thing to do, just create an essay. So give it your essay title, really. We'll just call this Test 1. And done. Okay, so you can see that's created Test 1. And now what we want to do is go tap on the essay, and you can see it says Add Reference. Okay, so if I just tap the green bar at the bottom, you can see we've got a barcode. Now, where's the barcode on a book? On a book, normally you'll find it on the back, and you can see here on the back of the book. It's captured it already. You need to hold it over, it will capture the barcode. And then it allows you to add also page number. So if you've got a quote on a certain page, you can just add in the page number. So for example, page 45, and then you just click Done. And you can see the whole reference appears on your screen on your phone. Okay? And you can flip between this, the reference that you will include in the bibliography, but the citation, which means the bit that you actually put in the text of your essay, appears here as well. And you can go between the two, as you can see. Okay? The final thing to know is that if you swipe up on the green bar, it allows you to change the style of referencing, which is great. So your tutors will tell you which kind of referencing you need to use, and you can see that if you flick between them, it actually changes the reference and the format of the reference. So you basically don't need to do anything, which is great. So there it is, MHRA, for example. You're done. How do you get it out of your phone? You can export it. So if you click export, it gives you these options. We're going to send it by email. Okay, so you can see it's all there for you already. And I'm just going to type in an email address, my own, and there we are. And then just click send. Okay, simple as that. If I go out of the app and I go back into my email, you can see it's just arrived. And there it is. So you've got the whole citation, you've got the bibliography, and you can just copy and paste that directly into your bibliography. Job done. You're so lucky, aren't you, really? Very lucky that you've got all this. You know, when I did my first degree, we didn't even use computers. We had a library, we had books, you had to write everything down. It's a real pain. But this is so easy. Okay, let me show you the other part of this. So there's an app and there's a website. Yeah. If you really want to get the best out of it, then you should also use the website. I know it's quite hard to see, but basically you just set up a new essay, and as well as the book, which your app will capture, you can also put in a website, a web address, a URL. You can put in a journal article, a video, web page, and in fact lots more. And it generates the reference automatically and creates it like this. Okay, very useful. And once you've done that, you can export. And you can see all these, you can just copy and paste. You can use Word, you can use Evernote. You can export direct to Evernote, direct to Mendeley. Brilliant, okay? So then you have your references just right there for you. You don't have to do anything, they're formatted correctly. One thing you need to be sure of, just check the references once they're generated. Just have a look at them, okay? And check with your tutors what kind of referencing you need to do, if it's Harvard. Check if they have any little, a lot of academics have little kind of things about punctuation. They get very obsessed with punctuation. Don't ask me why, but they do. So check with your tutor exactly the format, but this will save you a lot of time. It's a great tool, okay? In fact, at the moment, I've been in a lot of discussions online with various people about RefMe. I think some lecturers are quite against it. And I think it's because it makes it too easy. Okay, I'm convinced that they're just a bit jealous because they didn't have it when they were studying. It makes it too easy. But there is a serious point as well. What they will say is, if you teach students to learn how to reference manually, how to do everything, they pay attention to detail, which is true. Okay, so there are always two sides to every story. When you use RefMe, just be aware to use it well. If you use it well, it's a great tool, okay? Don't use it 5 minutes before your deadline and just put it in, okay? So it's like everything, just try to use it well, and it'll be a great tool, really help you. Okay, so RefMe, you can download it on your phone, and you can sign into the website. You just have to create a little account. You can use your student account email if you want, okay?
Is it free?
Yeah, absolutely free. Okay. So I would really recommend that as a good tool. So that's RefMe. Let's go back to our presentation. Where were we? Alright, for our next tool, we're going to look at Evernote, and Beatrice is going to talk us through what you can do with Evernote.
Hello, my name is Sophie. I'm going to talk about Evernote. This app is a easy, useful app to manage your student time. So you can create notes about your class tasks or your shopping list. You can share any kind of website, article, picture, and you can create notes from your lecture or your seminars. You can download it in the official website. It's completely free, and it's available to any operating system. You can use it from your laptop, your tablet, your smartphone. For example, if you are at the university and you make a note from your mobile, when you arrive at home, when you arrive at home, you can read it in your computer or something like that. What? Anyone? I don't know. Have you got any questions about it?
Does anyone use Evernote? No? I mean, I use it for, I used to do lots of Word documents for everything, so for every new notes I want to write, I'd have a Word document and then another one, and it quickly becomes easy to lose track of all your different Word documents, and you have to download, upload, save, all this kind of thing. With Evernote, I just write whatever my notes are. I'll create a folder in Evernote, create a new note, and I'll just type in there. If I need to do something, I will then cut and paste it into a Word document if I need it for an official kind of hand something in or something like this. So actually Evernote has really, really changed the way I think we work.
Can open on the website?
Yeah, we can have a look. Remember my password. Fine. Thing to remember about a lot of these services like Evernote, like Dropbox, you have two versions. So you have one online version, which is just the web version, and you can also have a version which you download. Normally you will have both. So for example, with Evernote, you can use it just on the web, online, okay? Always, wherever you are, but you can also download it onto, for example, I have it on an iPad, I have it on my phone, I have it on my computer at home, okay? So you can download it and have it everywhere. As soon as you do anything in Evernote on one computer, as long as you sync, then it will automatically be saved wherever you are on any other version that you have, okay? So the syncing between different devices is really good and will always work, okay? This is just the online version, and you can see over here I've got folders. They're called notebooks, okay? And then you've got inside each notebook you have different notes, and if you just click on them, it shows you what that note is, for example, okay? And you can have as many notebooks as you like. Like I say, it's kind of like your permanent Word drive with you wherever you are. It's fantastic, and it's very easy to use.
I hear you sound, sorry to interrupt.
like on my phone I use memos a lot, so I just write lots of notes. So it's basically the same thing, but it's on the internet.
Yes, it is. So a lot of these things, they're in the cloud, so they exist up there in the cloud, which means that you can access them anywhere. But actually you can download a version onto your devices as well, okay? And then you do things locally on each device, and it will save up into the cloud. The point about downloading it onto a device, it gives you a few more features and things you can do online. But generally speaking, they're all very easy to use and self-explanatory once you start.
Would you be able to save locally and not having to upload to the cloud?
That's a very good question. If you don't sync, I guess you can, but I've never tried that. So I'd have to try it and let you know.
I was a bit worried about saving on the cloud because it may not become your property. And also, you know, with the spines of terrorists and so on and so forth, well, your life isn't private anymore.
Yeah, I think it's a very good point, and it was one that was raised at the workshop last time that we did at North. A lot of these things, obviously, if you're using Dropbox, if you're using Evernote, Google Drive, they're all saved up in the cloud somewhere. What does that mean in the cloud? It probably means on a server farm in California somewhere, okay, or somewhere else, possibly in Europe. So I would always say, if it's something that you wouldn't just leave lying around, then don't save it up here, okay? So for example, if you're working on a PhD thesis, very personal, very important to you, I would not use one of these services. I use it for general notes, for working on rough drafts of things and so on. But I do think very carefully before I put certain things on it, and I wouldn't put certain things on it, and the same applies to photographs. Just like I wouldn't put photos on Facebook, I didn't want people to see. I wouldn't put them in Dropbox, I didn't want people to see. So it's a very good point, and it's very true. Just think very carefully what you want to share. For general, I would say, for mostly general undergrad work, for plans, for lists, for things like this, probably doesn't really matter, as long as, you know, if someone finds my notes, I don't care. They're not going to make sense to anyone else apart from me. So that's fine for me. It's the same if you have a memory stick. You can leave that on the bus, you can leave it lying around. I would say, just think carefully about what you put. And remember, just know what being in the cloud actually means. And it is possible that other people will see it. Yeah? Okay? So thanks for that. That's a good point. Very much. Yeah? Okay, let's move on. We're at the next one, which is Dropbox. Linda. So this is Linda.
Hi, my name is Linda. First of all, I have to say I come from Cyprus, so I study in Greece, which have totally different education system with here. And unfortunately, I never use computer, I never use internet, only my books. So I have no idea what is Dropbox, what is Mendeley, what is Evernote, nothing. And when I came here, I did the professional course, and it was the first time I come across with all of this. And I'm like, what is this? I have no idea, and I totally feel lost. And I found difficult. I started to learn and all of them, but unfortunately, I saved all my work in USB. And one day, I lost my USB. I have no idea where is my USB. And in the same week, my computer broke. So I lost everything. I lost my photo. I lost my everything. I lost everything until 2 days before I sleep, and I saw in my dreams I lost my photo. I lost all my life, and I have no idea what I have to do. And one of my friends asked me, "You don't have Dropbox?" And I'm like, "What is the Dropbox?" So I started to use Dropbox. What is the Dropbox? Dropbox is like your USB, but it's easier, it's safer, and it's better. What I mean is easier. It's just you have to download the Dropbox and start to use. It's really easy because I said before I have no idea how to use all of this. So just I download and organize, upload my photos, my files, and organize it in files. It's safer because you have only remember your password. It doesn't have remember your USB or something like this. It's free, have more storage than the USB. It's friendly with all softwares. If you have Apple or Android, it doesn't matter. And also it's available in computers, mobile, tablet. USB is only computers, not in tablets. I totally recommend use the Dropbox, and I believe it's safer than the USB because I lost my USB, and I think it's easier someone steal or stole my USB than my password, because I have to save my password and I never leave it somewhere. Do you have any questions?
All right, okay, thanks Linda, that's great, thank you very much. We're going to look at Google Drive as well, because Dropbox and Google Drive have a big difference, which is Dropbox you have to download and upload, okay, whereas some of the other services which are just on the cloud, it's automatic, okay, so that's one of the big differences. We're moving on, who's next? It's Digo, so that's Valeska.
Okay. Digo is a tool that is easy to learn and is free. It's friendly with all the system, like Windows, Apple or Android. You can use in tablets, laptops, desktop, and mobiles. And this is an online service to annotate it and bookmarking. How I start to use Digo is because all time when I want to save some links, what I do is use the bookmark in the browser. So then, what it was the problem that I have a huge list with all the links. So when I want to use one, I need to just check by one, which was the information that I'm looking for. So this was a good solution for me because I can organize all the links by list, by topic. I can tag some topic that I have, so it's easy to get to all my links that I saved months ago or days ago. Then, how I was using Digo, I realized that there have other functions. And for example, we can save PDF over here. And I use a lot of PDF in my daily days because I need to do some coursework. And so I need to save a lot of articles. And what I do with these articles as well is summarize the main point. So then I can add this information to my coursework. So I realized that with Digo also I can highlight text. So I can save the PDF, I can highlight the text. So I save time because then I don't need to come back to the link or PDF file and again write down the important points. So I have everything highlighted. Also, you can post annotations to your blogs if you have. Also, you can share these files with other people. And you can follow people that have the same type of interest than you. And like all tools online that you can see, it's up to you what you want to share, because all your lists, you can make it private or you can make it public as well. And I highly recommend this application. Any questions?
I'll just show you, this is what it looks like. So I know, sorry, it's really small, I know. But you can see you tag things, so digital literacy, 230 odd websites. It's a lot of websites related to that. And if you were saving them all on one browser, it's rather difficult. So you can find things very easily, very quickly. And this is where it will save your bookmarks. And you can see here, for example, I've highlighted something from the website, and your note appears just here directly. So you don't even have to click in to remember a bit more about what that website was, why you saved it, why it's useful for you, okay? You can also, for example, we've got a CELT E-team group where we share favorite websites that are useful together as a team. There are 5 of us, it's private, so only we can see it, yeah? So it's very useful. You can make lists as well, and as Valeska said, if there's someone who's well known in your field and they're on Digo, you can actually find out what kind of sites they're looking at, so it's useful, yeah? Or the ones that they've chosen to make public anyway. Okay? All right, so thanks, Valeska, that's very good, thank you. Going to, what are we doing next? Google Drive? Okay.
Google Drive is something that has completely changed my way of learning, full stop. Before I learned about Google Drive, I really don't know what I was doing with my life, and obviously, like Linda said before, she lost her memory stick, and I've had my entire laptop crash before, and everything get wiped. So I know that feeling of losing everything and not being able to get it back. The good thing about Google Drive is that because you're a London Met student, you have unlimited data storage. So you can put as many documents on it as you want, and you know, as long as you have your London Met email and things like that, you can save everything. So you can never really lose it. My favourite thing personally, and one of the things that I use the most, is Google Docs. And although it's not the same as Word, it is really, if you're used to using Word, which probably most of you are, then you'll be able to use that quite easily because it is a really simple format and it looks very similar to Word. You wouldn't really notice that it's not actually. And so anyone can actually use it. Google Docs.
Google Docs.
Yeah. And the good thing about Google Drive is that it's available across all your platforms. So whether it's your laptop, your tablet, your phone, whatever it might be, you can use it on anything. And the good thing is you can also just log in on the internet and be able to access the things that you were typing on your phone, the things that you were typing on your iPad, whatever it might be. And one of the best things about it is that when, end of last semester, I was here in Calcutta Library, staying up until 11, and then obviously they kick you out at 11 o'clock and you might not have finished the work that you were doing. And the good thing about it is that I could then get the bus, and on the way home I could carry on writing the rest of my essay. So if I still had something in my head and I really wanted to get out, and I was still in that zone where you're really concentrating, then it was good for me because I could just carry on writing and it would just carry on updating. And the nice thing about it that I like so much is the fact that it saves constantly. So every time that you change something on the document, it will save it automatically. So as you type, you'll see it says saved at whatever time. Type, 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 saved at this time. And it does it constantly as you write. So even if you erase something, it'll save it to the latest thing. So even if the whole thing crashes, that latest, the latest changes will still be there. So you don't ever have to worry. So you don't have to constantly press save every time on your USB stick or email it to yourself over and over again. The other thing is I've used it before. There's obviously different things on Google Drive. So you can use the calendars. So you can sync the calendars if you have any projects or whatever. You can send alerts to other people, all that kind of stuff. You also have your email, your Google Mail. So if it's your uni email, whatever stuff's coming in, then you can, obviously, it's all connected with that. And it also means that because of that, you can also share those documents straight away. So if you wanted to email it to someone, you can send it to them. Things like slides, Google Slides is good if you have a group presentation. Obviously, no one likes to sit and debate and sit around a table because usually nothing good ever comes out of sitting there for hours with these your group mates, and you probably don't really like them anyway. So at least this way you're separated from them, and you can see who's made changes on it as you go along. So if someone hasn't done any work, you'll be able to see that they haven't done any work on the slides because it shows exactly who's made the changes. And you can add and take people out of being able to view it, and also edit it whenever you want. So you just add email addresses and click share. And then it goes automatically to their email, they get a link, they click on it, and they're able to make changes and do whatever with the document. So it's great if you have those kind of things. And obviously there is Google Sheets, but I've never really used that. Maybe if you did accountancy or something like that, or where you needed to create charts or something, then that might be something that would be good for you. But yeah, so the good thing about it is that it gets saved constantly, and it is familiar if you have been using any of Microsoft Office for however long that you might have been. And the fact that it will always be saved as you write. You don't have to worry about anything crashing, all that kind of stuff, because you'll still be able to get it back. And you can save PDF documents, all sorts of things, and then organise it into folders and all that kind of stuff. So it is basically like having your normal laptop, but just in a cloud. The only thing I would say is in terms of like security, like obviously mentioned before, you don't want to put something that's really, really personal or, I don't know, like inflammatory or something that might want to, you know, might come round to bite you later. But at the same time, if you're writing like your uni work, who really cares about, you know, your long essay about, I don't know, whichever court case that has just come out or whatever it might be? No one really cares. So unless you're worried about Google and the CIA and, you know, the National Security Agency like seeing your stuff, you know, it's great to use, and it doesn't matter how big or how small that document might be, but it's great and it's a great tool, and I really think you guys should use it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Just to add a couple of things to what Helen said, it's for an example would be maybe if you're working on your CV, yeah, your curriculum vitae. I would not use Google Drive for that, for example. Yeah. So if it's CV, it's got lots of personal information about you. I wouldn't just share it on Google Drive. I wouldn't use it on Google Drive. I wouldn't want Google necessarily to have that. So I'd probably do it on my own personal computer and keep it there.
Yeah. I like to highlight this point in the sense that I think you're quite right in stating something with CV. But sometimes when you use agency, to my horror, I found out that they were not secure at all, and it's got all your information all over the place. Anybody can access it.
So if you're saying you send it to agencies,
yeah.
Yeah, that's,
yeah, I mean,
you
it's
know.
totally out of your control.
Yeah.
And, you know, somebody actually told me, she said, don't, because I know for a fact that all your CV has gone AWOL.
That's very interesting. So don't share, be careful where you share your CV online.
Even if you posted or emailed it or this thing, they just scanned it in, they actually rejig your CV.
Yeah.
And then they splat it all, and some of the information wasn't what I had written.
Really?
And it was scary. And somebody actually phoned me up.
Okay.
Another agency, or she used to work for that agency, told me that
that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's awful, but I mean that's another reason to use LinkedIn, which is what we're looking at in the next workshop. Is if you're going to be out there, at least try to control what is out there about you. Yeah, and LinkedIn is a good example of a way you can start to do that. But you can't legislate for, you know, someone, a dodgy agency, you know, doing something with your CV if you send it. Really? Okay. That's terrible. So be careful with your CV. That's with your personal data, really. Yeah. Sorry.
LinkedIn, because I always think I don't really. I'm 20, so I don't really know what I want to do yet.
Yeah.
And all of the internships and things that I've done don't necessarily relate together.
Mm-hmm.
So I always think if I make a LinkedIn page, it might just look really like erratic.
There are special things you can do as a student on LinkedIn, because a lot of people say, oh, I want to be on LinkedIn, but I haven't got the work experience, so it's going to look really empty or something. But actually there are certain things, there are recommendations, there are whole things they say, if you're a student, do this on LinkedIn, put this on, and we'll be looking at some of that next session. So yes, be on LinkedIn, and we'll look at the reasons for that later. Next session. Yeah, sorry.
Just confirm, we can log into Google Drive without uni.
I'm going to show you, yeah.
And the other thing about the documents that really interested me, obviously you can create the documents, but can you also format them and print them out like Word?
Yes, yeah. So if you say this is your email, it might be a different colour to yours, but don't worry about that. So that's your student email, which you've all got, your official London Met one. If you look up here, that is your key to Google Drive. So if you click on that little checkbox, you can see all these things. And then if you click Drive, you'll see the icon. If you click on Drive, then it opens up Google Drive, hopefully. Yeah, and you see I've got a lot in Google Drive. You can organise it into folders. These are all documents. You've got spreadsheets. You've got presentations, all sorts. You know, you do what you like with it. Okay, but these are all things I'm not that private or secretive about. Yeah, I don't really mind if other people see it. I'll say good luck to you. You know, I don't care. I wouldn't put all my really sort of private stuff on there. Okay? But everyone, you have all got that, and you've got unlimited storage. Unlimited. You can save whatever you like on this. So very useful stuff. Creating a new document is just up here. You go to New, and you can either upload a Word document that you have already, or a presentation, or a spreadsheet, or you can start a new one. So this one, Google Docs, Helen was saying it looks like Word, and pretty much, if you know Word, you can use this very easily. Okay, see familiar toolbar, same. Okay, but it's just much easier to share. You never ever have to save it. Yeah, I just I'll write something and close it. It's saved automatically. When I open it again, it's there like magic. Yeah, so it can be very useful in that respect. Yeah, one thing that came up in the last session. Your students here, so you get a Gmail account. What happens when you leave? Right? So imagine that. You've got all your lovely documents on Google Drive, and then you leave the university. And what happens? Eventually, your student account will disappear, right? So you won't have your student email anymore. Okay? So what you need to do is just think very carefully what you're putting on there. I've got 2 Gmails. I think you said you've got 2 as well. 2 accounts. I've got a personal Gmail. So the same for me. If I leave this job, then all this will go. So what do? I can just transfer it across to my personal Gmail, or you can download things as Word documents, as PPTs, as whatever you like. Okay? But it's going to take a bit of time, so just be aware, you know, that you have everything well organized. You probably don't want to take everything with you anyway. I could probably leave half that stuff that's on there, and never, you know, I'd never remember I'd lost it. But, you know, you can transfer stuff, but just be aware that this is not permanent. So if you want a permanent G drive, then get your own personal Gmail, or use other services.
I've actually experienced troubles with trying to transfer the documents from my work Gmail account to my personal account.
Mm-hmm.
And what I ended up doing is just sharing them with myself, and then just duplicating them, just copying them and saving as on my Google Drive. It's extra work and it's repetitive, but I couldn't transfer the same.
Okay, that's interesting. So you can create folders and then share a folder. So if you on your student Gmail account, or sorry, G Drive, you just create one folder, put everything in there, share that folder with your personal Gmail, then you will have access to them as well. But when you share things in Google Drive, make sure that you can give different permissions. So you can share it with someone who can just view it. They can't change it, they can't edit it, or you can share it so they can edit and they can do everything with it. Okay, so just be careful how you're sharing it. But obviously that's further down the line. You know, you can think about that when you're leaving. For now, it's a very useful tool. Yeah. Okay, and remember, you've all got it, so it'd be a shame not to use it. We're going on to the last sort of research tool, which is Mendeley. Okay, so Marina, this is yours.
So, hi everybody, my name is Marina, and I'm a doctoral student here at London Met. I'm not English, I come from Italy, and well, when I moved to London for my PhD, at the beginning it was really hard for me, because my Italian background was not so far away from Linda's one. So, well, the academic system in my country was totally different from this one. And so, at the beginning it was hard, because, you know, when you are attending a PhD, you can be asked for a critical essay, assignment, and so on. And everything must be properly referenced. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the first thing that my supervisor told me was, do not use Google Scholar, please, because it's not professional. So at the beginning I was lost, because I didn't know what to do. And well, I think that Mendeley is it can be a great tool, because well, first of all, it's free. It's desktop software, and but you can find also mainly iPad and mainly for iPhone. Yeah, the application. Yeah, and both are free. And it's like a sort of Facebook, but of course it's much more professional and it's more academic. And you can find a lot of articles, books, and so on. And you can share it if you want, and you can read them, of course. And there are quite a lot of disciplines, such as, I don't know, sociology, anthropology, mathematics, statistics, and so on. But there are also many sub-disciplines. And I think that it is really, really important, because I think that when you will write your dissertation, well, I think that the topic is quite specific, so you need a specific discipline. And so I think that Mendeley can be useful also in this sense. And what else? Oh yes, there are also so many groups, and you can join some pre-existing groups. And so basically you can be in contact with all of the people from all over the world who are focusing on or are interested in your same topic. And I think it's great.
And it looks like this.
Yeah, exactly. These are some of my documents, for example. Yes, case study, research, and so on. And but you can find also, you can join also some groups. For example, one of my groups is qualitative research methodology. Yeah, but maybe, well, of course, it depends on what you are studying. Yeah, on your discipline and so on.
So when you finish, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You know, in the first, in the beginning, when you was talking about the first bit, when you was talking about, is it RefMe?
Yeah.
Is it saying that mentally? Is it saying? Could you talk? You're talking about referencing, yeah? Books, interests.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I always save my document. And then normally I read them online, and maybe if I need a reference, I just copy and paste, because yeah, it's always everything is online, so maybe yeah.
So basically, so because remember when you was talking when you first opened the presentation, and you was talking about you see a book, and you can use your barcode.
Exactly.
Is this the same? Can Mendeley do the same thing that you can?
No, but what you can do is, if you remember from the website for RefMe, when you export, so say, I mean, I think Mendeley is mainly for journal articles that you find in academic
articles
journals.
as not a barcode, so yeah, that's
right. But you mentioned reference, and you said you mentioned referencing and about how lectures they want people to. The students to reference correctly. I thought you could use the same.
From RefMe, you can then export into Mendeley or into Evernote. So you could say, for example, if you're in the library and you find a book for your subject and you think, I need that to go into my library for referencing, my bibliography, then you can export, you can capture it and then export it into Mendeley. Okay, so then if you're collecting most of your references inside Mendeley, you can just export them in, so they'll all be together. So that means you don't have them here, there, and everywhere else.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's possible to do. Yeah.
Some of the senior researchers in this country, not just academics, use Mendeley. It tends to be the key thing for anyone that's doing a lot of research, and you can get specific areas or groups. That's why it's really good for what your lessons are, what you really want to find key information. Mendeley is really good for that. And
you can also improve your networks thanks to Mendeley. Because
I mean, it's interesting to look at some of these tools and you think of what were they originally designed for. And if you think of things like Twitter or various other things, like even Google, Google Drive, a lot of them are social or commercial, right? So they're not designed for academia, but now in academia we use Twitter a lot, for example. But something like Mendeley was created by academic institutions working together. So it's specifically for education. The same with RefMe. They're both produced here in the UK. They were made by academics who need a tool. So you can see that you can distinguish between different kinds of apps. Some are services that are out there that we use for education because they're useful. Some are created by academics and by people who work in education already. And Mendeley is one of those. So you can think that it's sort of purpose-built for that purpose, which is good, I think.
Okay.
You were going to ask something?
Yeah, I've just tried to download Mendeley on my phone and my tablet, but I use Android-based devices, and it seems like Mendeley is not available for Android. And there's this Scholarly, which claims to be an unofficial partner of Mendeley. Do you know whether it's possible to sync Scholarly with Mendeley, or is it just advisable to use the online website version of Mendeley instead?
I've not, to be honest, I've not heard of Scholarly, so I'd have to look into it. I think until you know, I would not download that and try to use Mendeley as well together. I would use the web version of Mendeley. Because if there isn't an Android app, there will be very soon for Mendeley, for sure. I mean, because you've got it on iPad, on iPhone, and so on. So I would sort of advise trying to use the web version, and then hopefully you will get an Android app soon. Because I don't know Scholarly, though. Yeah, okay.
What about Zotero? That's
Zotero?
what was recommended.
Yeah, Zotero is very good as well. Zotero is it's a reference manager. Sorry, very rude. Zotero is a reference manager for anybody who hasn't heard. It's similar to Mendeley in many ways, in that it allows you to save things like journal articles and PDFs and to organize them into libraries, to generate your bibliography, that kind of thing. It is good. It's not created, I mean, it's slightly more commercial, I would say. Mendeley is I would say Mendeley is a better tool for really getting deeper into your specific discipline. And I think it fits very well for PhD and researchers who are already working in their field. I think it's a slightly more, can I say, serious tool, possibly. But Zotero is very useful as well. Try them out. See what you find easier. Zotero, you need to get plugins for browsers. Firefox plugin, yeah. And it can be a bit daunting at the beginning, but a lot of these things have very good online support and very good how-tos.
Link it with your Word, so
when
you download anything, it asks you to save to
Zotero, yeah.
And within Word, you can link it in as an add-on.
Yeah, so it's useful. It kind of depends. Each individual will probably find one that they like and one that they don't. And there are others like RefWorks and EndNote and so on. But yeah, give them a try, that's my advice. Let me just finish with some general things, because I know it's really overwhelming. Like I said at the beginning, there are so many things out there. I would say just don't try too many at once. So I wouldn't advise going off and downloading everything we've seen today and trying to use all of it, because it's too much. You'll go crazy, yeah? And you'll get mixed up. So I would say choose 2 or 3 that you think, yeah, I really like the sound of that, I'm going to try and use that. And actually learn how to use it, yeah? Nothing comes, I mean, they're all free in terms of money, but not free in terms of effort. You need to learn to use things. There is a process. Sometimes there's, at the beginning, a steep learning curve, yeah? Once you get over that, it will help you, it will save you time, and you'll wonder how you managed without it. But you do have to learn at the beginning, and it can be frustrating, okay? So don't try to do too much. Develop the best system for you to manage your notes, ideas, and references. This comes back to what we were saying about Zotero. Try out Zotero, try out Evernote, see which works, but try to work on that system and develop it so it works for you. If you need to sync Evernote and RefMe, work out how it works, and then keep that, and it will help you develop it will help you become a better student, a better learner, even, some of this stuff. Yeah. Ask your fellow students and tutors what they use. Students often look to their tutors to find out about technology and things, so ask them what they use, you know? If I was studying now, well, I am, but if I was studying sort of from the beginning now, I'd ask my lecturer, I'd say, who do you follow on Twitter? Are you on Twitter? They said, no. I said, whatever. If they are, I'd say, who do you follow? Who are the big people in your discipline, in this subject that we're studying? Who can I follow? Who would be useful to know what kind of things they're looking at, what they're working on? Okay? Twitter, which is something we'll look at in the third session, I found out research before it's published, before it's out. You can find out what people are working on now. You can even contribute to what people are working on now through Twitter. Yeah? It's much more immediate, just like the news. Sometimes you'll hear a news story by looking at Twitter before it's anywhere near the official press. Okay? It's the same in academia. You need to work, you can learn how to use these things to your advantage. Helen?
And just to add to that point as well, a lot of your faculties will actually have like a Twitter page, and although some of them will have a lot of not really that relevant to exactly what you might be doing, I know my faculty have just set up a new Twitter page that they have decided that they're going to post relevant materials to the things that we're studying. So if you ask your tutors and see what they're doing within your faculty, then you might be able to find like more other resources that you wouldn't necessarily find yourself, and it can save you time and effort, because you just have to scroll through your own Twitter feed and you just find another article that might be useful for your essay. So at least I'll be posting things relevant to what it is that you're actually doing.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And the point here as well is that the academic context is changing very quickly as a result of all this technology. So a lot of lecturers and tutors find it very difficult. It's normal. We're all faced with some of the same problems that all this knowledge is coming at us. How do we deal with it? And it's the same for a lot of lecturers, you know. Lecturers aren't born knowing how to use technology. A lot of them struggle. So if these things come from you, it's also good. So you can try to pull, it's a sort of push and pull, yeah, and develop these things together. That's kind of what we're trying to do with this project as well. Yeah? You going to say?
Oh, no, everything.
Okay. And finally, learn to collaborate and share, because what a lot of this technology does, it allows you to share, to collaborate, to tap into networks very easily. But always be aware of academic integrity. In other words, your tutors will probably tell you about plagiarism and stuff. Of course, don't all collaborate on a Google Doc and then download it and all submit it as the same to the same assignment. You know, that's not what we mean by collaborating. So just be smart about it. If you've got a group project, then you can use these collaboration tools. Find out how, you know, where your academic community is. Get information from them. Start giving information back to community. You know, you can even start blogging at some point. Huh? Okay, so that's it. Collaborate, share, learn how to use these tools, but not all at once. Okay, let me just finish. Sorry, I'll stop talking in a minute. We're running a blog, so we realised that coming to this session, we don't have time for you all to be on computers and to set up every single thing. You know, we just don't have time, it's impossible. So we're trying to provide you with resources, information, so you can go away and think, all right, I want to try Evernote. How can I find out how to do it, how to set it up? Of course, you can Google, but we've tried to make it a bit easier by having a blog. Okay, on this blog, we've got how-to guides about these tools, so you can click on them and it will tell you how to do it. The blog address is cluedup@LondonMet, all one word, cluedup@LondonMet. If you like, if you've checked in, we can send you all an email with all the links that are relevant, if that helps. We can do that, okay? So you'll have access easily to the URLs, okay? cluedup@londonmet.wordpress.com.
Yeah, there is a link to the blog from the main webpage. You have to look for it on the left-hand side, but it is there, and that's updated quite often.
I mentioned also our next session, so actually next week in North Campus, and on the 10th of December, which is same time on Wednesday the 10th, 2 weeks' time, we'll be having the one about digital profile, about enhancing your own digital profile online, things you can do, LinkedIn, that kind of thing. Okay, so that will be on the 10th down here. We'll confirm the room online if you're interested. Same process, Eventbrite if you want to book it up.